Start of this top of the table clash at the MCG. And Somerville goes up. Capuano starting in ruck for the Kangaroos. Ball flipped out towards the wing. Solid tackle by Blumfield. Scott's underneath. The whistle's gone. And it's going to be a Kangaroos free kick. Advantage taken. It's got to come back. And the ball will come back, in fact, to Winston Abraham to take his kick just behind the centre circle. Wayne Carey won the toss for the Roos, and they're going right to left in the first quarter. And it bounces up to the King, who taps the ball on inside the 50. McKernan threw it on. Surely umpire. No whistle on the play. It's flipped back to Wellman. Short pass out of defence, and he gets away with that to Mark Mercury.
Mercury on the outer side. There's Moorcroft. He's got plenty of space. Hear the roar from the Bomber fans on the outer side. Into the half-forward line. Lloyd, Archer right with him. Boundary throwing.
That's really going to be a great challenge and contest today. Archer on Lloyd here. Also down the other way, Barnard is lined up on Carey, which I think will also be a great duel. Two hard men, Archer and Barnard, taking on the two top forwards in the game today.
Free kick. There's plenty happening already. We've just seen Matthew Lloyd, David King, Paul Barnard, Wayne Carey at the other end, as Jim Stone's just told us, and here's Shannon Grant, game number 100. Hasn't missed since joining the Roos. Pickett outer side towards Carey. Young's there with him. Carey keeps it on board with a handball. Barnard his opponent. First one back. Handballs again. Wellman on the end of the quick exchange. His kick not clearing the area. Bombers can't get quite through. Carey, good strong tackling there from Mercedes. This is hard. This is strong. The umpire's found a free.
And it goes to the Bombers, who have defied most pundits this season to lead the competition with 12 wins and just 4 losses. They're missing a lot of top players, not the least of whom is James Hird, and we'll be speaking to James Hird with Paul Couch at half-time. Bell across the half-back line, a bit of a juggle by Longmire. Johnny Longmire's missed a lot of footy through injury. Beautiful pass. McKernan just forward of the centre circle. McKernan goes long. Lang led to the ball. Carey stays back in the goal square. The King's got it.
Well, if you look at that piece of play, that's sort of what you want from Corey McKernan, taking marks and kicking down to his opposite, to his teammate there in Carey. But as you see, you just caught Barnard out, and that's one thing. If you're behind as a forward, you get in behind your defender, and it's coming over the back. It's very hard for a defender to do much about it. But I think Longmire's got Alessio down the other end, and as we just saw there, Fletcher on McKernan, and another two key matchups today.
Carey for the first goal of the game from point-blank range. Never in doubt.
Well, that's the sort of confident start that North Melbourne are looking for, and to get McKernan, for him to be in the game so early, taking marks, and to be kicking to his teammate, and just the depth of his kick, like he's just inside, just off the centre there, and he's able to drive it long down to the 10-metre square, and that takes a leg.
Wayne Carey, whose first half last week included 13 disposals, 8 marks and 7 goals. Starts here this afternoon, getting the Kangas first. Dropping back into the goal square where he is most dangerous, inside 30. The bounce back towards Capuano. Somerville runs it down. Grant trying to spin out. Goes towards Capuano again. The big man on the left from the centre of the ground. Not a good effort. Pryor in at it first up. Rawlings, number 39 there for the Kangaroos, in at the bottom of the contest. And Paul Couch down on the boundary.
And for Essendon, Jukovic, Fraser, Carosella, Lalich for Essendon on the bench.
Actually, if you have a look at Fraser, he's just come out this sheet. He doesn't hold his punches back. He's playing his 100th game, and he's starting on the bench.
And Carosella playing 50, sitting alongside him. Bombers to half forward. Bounces off the hard centre area. Here's Michael Long. Blakey's chasing. Long's quick enough on the left. Alessio's too late. Spoils it on down. Bombers have a chance with Pickett. Intercepts half back.
Runs across the half-back line. Byron Pickett from the defensive 50 up towards the wing. McKernan in front of Fletcher. On all fours. Gee whiz, that's hard tackling in there, and holding the ball against the Essendon player, who did absolutely nothing to get that ball out, and it was eventually counted against Heffernan.
If you look at that two-play, Drew, you just got to keep your feet. The fact that he went to ground first and tried to pull the ball in deserved to be played against him.
McKernan to Carey. Well, the last time that happened, the King kicked a goal. This time he's too far out to score. He's about 80 metres from goal. Carey centres the ball towards centre half forward. Capuano's gone forward from the centre bounce. A chance for a bit of roving here at the back. Rawlings.
Push at the back, I think.
And it'll be a free kick on the edge of the square. It'll come back to Rawlings right in front.
If you have a look at that, if you see that play again, what's sort of surprised me is Sean Wellman has picked up Adam Lang. As you'll see here, Brady Rawlings just pushed after he kicked the ball. A little bit undisciplined because the ball was going through for a point. Didn't really need to give that free kick away.
And particularly from someone like Wellman, who is most disciplined, it's a rare error from him.
I'm surprised Wellman hasn't lined up on Carey.
Similar spot to Carey, and Rawlings gets a goal.
As I said, Fletcher's just a couple of metres behind, and Barnard a couple of metres behind as well on their opponents in Kernan and Carey. I just think Essendon need to make a few changes there.
Big men floating down into half forward are going to really trouble the Essendon defence. They certainly have the numbers there. Barnard and Carey at centre half forward, a bit going on. So the Kangaroos have the flying start. Brady Rawlings getting his first, the Kangaroos second. He made his debut against the Kangaroos earlier in the year. It's the Bombers now. It's Young, long from 50 metres out. Barry Young, that was very quick reply.
Absolutely, Terry. As you'll see here, Barry Young, who hurt his knee last week, was in there. We didn't think he'd play. He didn't really get through training the other night, but they've gone with him. He started in the centre. He's just followed up the ball here. Was blocked by Bell, but Young just kept going. Took us 15 metres and kicked on the 50. That's just a really inspirational goal, a real team-lifting goal.
Yeah, brilliant stuff by Barry Young there. Knee injury and all. Kangaroos 2 goals. Bombers 1 goal. Capuano up in the middle. Knocked forward by Bell for the Kangaroos. Overrun by Pryor. Abraham gets the hand pass out. Capuano following up from the centre bounce work. Well, on this occasion, Barnard's in front of Carey and gets the ball away. Johnson goes for a gallop down the outer side. Up towards half forward, over the head of McCurry, and defensive mark taken by Blakey, who beats a man. Johnny Blakey, veteran approaching 300 games. Kicks to half forward. Wellman comes down to Harvey. He centres for Carey. He slips the tackle, and he held it just a fraction too long. You're holding the ball.
Great decision by the umpire. Carey swung around in the tackle.
Great tackle,
yeah. Just hanging on. It's a fair job to hang on to Carey while he's on the move too.
If you just look at some of the matchups in the centre, it really seems like both teams have gone out with an attacking frame of mind. They don't have as many tags on like we often see in the game today. If you look in the centre, with Buick and on Grant, both attacking type players. Bell's in the centre for North Melbourne. Mercedes in there.
Both sides coming off very good wins. Kangaroos against Geelong at the SCG, and the Bombers against Carlton last week. Solomon, quick kick into half forward for Essendon. Longmire just prepared to cover it and allowed to go over the boundary line and out of bounds. Johnny Longmire, game number 197. And who is on the bench for the Kangaroos, Paul?
Gary Durkay, Brady Anderson, Shane Clayton and Craig Scholl.
So they wait their opportunity. Throw in at half forward for the Bombers. Alessio, but it's down, taken away by Pickett. Byron Pickett. Long, strong kick to half forward. Here's McKernan. Good thump from Fletcher. Clears it some 20 metres. Kangaroos, but here's the charge from Pryor from half back. Slams it down, but doesn't clear the error. And Johnny Blakey, the oldest man on the ground. Happy birthday, John. 33 years of age today. Plays in front.
He could have knocked himself out there.
To half forward. Then straight back to the centre half-back in Barnard, who's had a good start in this duel against Carey.
He has done well, even though Carey's kicked a goal. Capuano got a fingernail of the ball, and 3 Kangaroo players came in for a triple-decker sandwich here.
Well, if this is not what we're talking when we're talking about finals footy, it doesn't get much tougher than that.
Down Solomon's mind, that one went.
Bounced by umpire Howlett. Gee, Somerville up a long way. Back towards centre wing, David King. Oh, his hand pass is knocked down. Chance for Peter Bell to mop up. He goes further backwards. Stevens His kick short of half forward, and good to see Fletcher back after his 3-week suspension. Fletcher's kick out wide towards centre wing, beautifully pinpointed to Heffernan. He sets it up towards the 50. McCurry juggles, can't mark. Longmire looking for the line here, the Kangaroos. Moorcroft keeps it in. Back over his shoulder, deep inside the 50. Lloyd in the chop, outnumbered about 4-1. Comes to the front, overrun by Masiti. Pickett didn't have the ball, will take a free kick.
So advantage to the Kangaroos. King always no opportunity. Blakey was squeezed.
It's a bit lucky not to get pinged for that.
Another opportunity. Capuano out wide. Out there towards Lang. Robert Scott, 3 goals last week. Cross the body in towards Carey. It's at ground level. Blumfield, Barnard, Pryor. Good set up by the Bombers. Young. Some good run here. Buick probing it into centre half forward. Here's the duel. Here's the run over the back. The big fella. Somerville does the roving and slams it in. 2 goals apiece at the MCG.
Sort of play that Essendon, and particularly from a ruckman Peter Somerville, you really want to put some pressure on your opponent, in Capuano, and running forward like that. He's only kicked a goal for the season, but as you'll see here, took a risk. Young had it. Buick, beautiful long kick to Lloyd, as you'll see, just tripped a little bit. Archer covered him, but Somerville's right there over the back and just stuck it away, and that will really give him a lift and the team.
With umpire Kennedy in the middle, the score's level. The Kangaroos kicked the first 2 and the Bombers have kicked the last 2. What a day we should be in for here at the MCG. Capuano wins, comes down to Abraham. Back he goes to Bell. Bell's kick to centre half forward. Guess who? Wayne Carey. Well, Barnard's done particularly well, even though Carey has kicked the goal and might well kick his second.
And I think Barnard needs to keep that running go. I mean, to be able to contain Wayne Carey and negate him to minimal effect is a huge task to take.
And particularly today, the game is so open. Players are just running. It's a real attacking side game.
40
half for the backman.
49 metres out, and that's his second.
He's going to be tough to stop today.
The Kangaroos have had the #1 attack in the competition for 4 out of the last 6 years. They rate that also this year. They average 109 points, and with Carey in the forward line, why wouldn't you? Johnson does very well.
Right, Mark.
To the outer side, Masiti. He stands, kicks to half forward, pushing, shoving. Wallace couldn't take it. Stevens is back there for the Kangaroos. Works with Bell, who also last week worked across half-back, just cleaning the football up. Kicks into Grant's not a bad one.
I think with Bell, he's probably been tagged so much in the last 3 or 4 weeks that he's decided to drop back, get back a bit.
He jumped onto his bike there and off he went. Bell probes it in towards half-forward. Big fly there from Barnard, despoiled. Didn't clear the area. Scott can't get it out. Johnson. Quick exchange of hands again. Fletcher in the back. And Buick. Pines Blumfield, half-back, MCG, round 17, 1 versus 2. What a match. Well, Somerville spoils it away to ground level. Lloyd taken high, surely gets the free kick. He does, long way from goal, but chips it in short.
Yeah, but he'll know Archer's around the place as a result. It's a pretty safe place to give away a free kick there. But now it's not too safe because it's inside 50 and the mark about 45 metres out taken by Heffernan.
Yeah, that's what he's...
It was interesting here with Lloyd, just caught a little bit. He just ducked at the right time, but he's had to come up the ground quite a long way to get that possession.
Chris Heffernan starts left, just floats back, goal!
Tell you, Drew, he had a pilot on that ball. That was no way was that going towards goal, and was heading for the point post, and it just swung back nicely for him.
Yeah, normally a right footer with a drop punt will swing it slightly right to left like a golfer's draw shot, but that was definitely a fade.
No, absolutely. Well, it's pretty early, only 15 minutes gone in the game. We've already got 6 goals kicked and the scores are level.
Well, it's attacking football at the MCG. Both defences turning attack their side's way very quickly. Pryor underneath it. Seedy over the top. Bombers want the footy, but it ends up with Rawlings. He's already kicked one goal on the left foot. It's about 20 metres out from goal. Lang in front, couldn't take the mark. Johnson again cleaning up. Excellent kick to Young. There's run from the Bombers. Solomon, half back into half forward. Here's the fly from Lloyd. He's got it. Drops it. Capuano flicks it on out to Archer. Archer's kick on wider still. Simpson makes a meal of the handball, and Buick swoops upon it. Can he keep it in play? Can't quite get there. Does very well as Boris keeps the ball going. Here come the Bombers again. Somerville can't get into there, and Stevens, shortest man in the pack on the left foot, chips it into the centre.
With a perfect pass and the mark taken by Rawlings near the centre circle. Gives it off to McCartney, to full forward. It spills to the back to Kerry. Gets free for the hand pass. Oh, I'm not sure Harvey had it. Pushed in the back. Another Kangaroos free right in front. Brent Harvey, who won the E.J. Whitten medal in the State of Origin game here. And the crowd just saw the replay of the free kick on the big screen. And the Essendon fans not happy with it.
I was a little bit, I think there was a little bit in it, but not a great deal. And so he started a bit slow last week, Brent Harvey, but got right into the game.
Well, this to break the deadlock. We've had 3 goals straight each. And Harvey, with this free kick, will be kicking from only about 20 metres out. Kicked 5 goals that day for Victoria. Kangaroos 4.
Well, when you've got players like McKernan, Carey and also Lang, 3 big blokes on the forward line, you need your smaller blokes coming in and crumbing, and that's what this man was doing. So you see Rawlings here turning, playing it through to McCartney, who's obviously run from deep in the fence. And you know, just had the players there. Harvey just crumbing underneath the pack, and he was where you want him.
Matty Lloyd, he must have been licking his chops for the Cadburys.
So Harvey gets his first goal for the Kangaroos. Accuracy is on the scoreboard. 7 straight goals so far, and we haven't yet reached time on in the first quarter. Kangaroos go forward again. Here's another chance. It's Bell under pressure from Fletcher, and the pressure was just enough. Force it away. 1 behind to Peter Bell.
Wheels, just at ground level here. It's the quickest game I've seen this year. Up and down the ground, a lot of pressure, tackling, chasing. You know, just a lot of half chances taken by North Melbourne at this stage.
The trait of both these sides, Couch, is that they use the ball well and long and quite direct. There won't be too much out on the wings. Both sides prepared to go down the centre of the ground. Bombers have worked it back into that spot now through Heffernan. As Moorcroft jumps high, meets the ball early. Moorcroft and Pickett. What a match-up that is to watch. Lloyd and Archer. Here's another one. Lloyd's in the front spot. Steps around as Mercury. His hands are beautiful to Lloyd. He's on his favoured left foot. Matthew Lloyd rarely misses these. He's not going to start missing now. Great goal. So Lloyd gets his first, but the work of Mercury there, quick hands, created everything.
Well, as you see here, we just talked before about the ball going up and down so fast. We've got the ball inside 50. The rules have been, it's 9 to 5, or I'm sorry, 10 to 6 now. But here, Matthew Lloyd just getting into the kick, into the thick of the play, and now starting to put some pressure on Glenn Archer. It's
just a psychological advantage to Lloyd too. Like, Archer's given him a couple, and he's able to bounce back with a goal. It just gives you an edge on your opposition player.
Just brilliant thinking there by Mark Mercury. Delayed the hand pass. He virtually gave it out to a bit of green grass, and Lloyd ran onto it. It was just fantastic. Blumfield up to Masiti. He puts it wide to Barry Young. Young through the middle. Inside half forward. On the bounce to Lloyd. Archer's with him. Archer hacks it away from him towards the smoker stand. Great defence by Glenn Archer, and it bounced end on end all the way to the line.
Yeah, they're just getting a lot of use to it. When Essendon get a turnover, when they go forward, they're a lot more direct, and they're getting more from their forward thrust, whereas North Melbourne have been inside 50 a few more times, but have only converted the same number.
Boundary throw in. Blumfield tried to take clean possession. Simpson had an airy. Somerville a little kick down the line, and King happy to see the ball out of bounds.
That's too tough, man. King and Barry Young.
It's up to Somerville here. I think that's where their weak link is in the ruck there, and Somerville can lift today and play a very good game. Essendon's in this game. I think McKernan, if he goes in, they're going to be very hard to beat, North Melbourne.
The Roos by 1 point. Capuano palms it straight to Young, onto Michael Long, and Long misses to the right-hand side.
You were talking about Peter Somerville last week. Matthew Allen did a great job on him, and got a lot of marks around the ground, so I'm sure Kevin Sheedy has had a word to Peter, and kicking that goal early in the game has certainly given him a boost of confidence.
Jim, I don't think they play all their cards just yet, just because they've got to play each other in the finals later on.
Absolutely.
Pickett just to himself. Carries it another 25 metres on this near side. Over the top of McKernan. Turned back by Pryor into centre half forward. Heffernan's in the spot. That's the hot spot in footy right there. And Heffernan drives it now towards the goal square. Lloyd, did he push? No, he didn't. It's a clean mark.
There was a couple of hands on his back, I think, but whether it was a push out, I'd like to have a look at the replays and see it here. It's Lloyd, yeah, a little bit of a shove, but a little bit of acting as well. A bit of both.
It's a mark.
You pay that?
Yep.
Particularly down the end there, you got all the Essendon supporters behind the goal.
I would suggest if Glenn Archer really wanted to stand strong there, he would have. So Lloyd has the one goal. 69% is his accuracy rate going into the season. It's 100 today. So 2 goals for Lloyd, 1 on the run, and that one from the mark. And there's just that little bit extra behind play. Moorcroft and Stevens. McCartney wants a little piece of it.
Well,
Wallace and Archer.
As we say, it's a bit of a prelude to finals footy. They'll be taking some of this stuff with them, putting it in their memory banks.
It's a promoter's dream, this one. There are matchups everywhere that are special.
And before the umpire had a chance to bounce the ball, Wayne Carey interfered with, and Wayne Carey will take a free kick right in front of goal.
And in actual fact, I'd say that I think it's Dean Solomon, is it? Has been reported. Yes, Dean Solomon had his number taken in this incident, Drew.
Well, a sensation here. Actually, the Kangaroos have kicked 4 goals, and a couple of them have been free kicks right in front. And this might be their 3rd goal from a free kick. Let's have a look at the bounce. And we just got the tail end of Solomon. And now it's a 50-metre penalty as well. And so Carey's running through this pack, having a few things to say to the Essendon players on his way to kick a gimme goal. There it is. 3 goals to Carey.
I'll tell you what, Essendon want to be careful here. They're going to lose sight of the game.
And they're going to lose a few dollars as well.
I haven't kept the stat on how many goals North Melbourne have now kicked as a result of Essendon's free kicks against their own dismal stuff. But down at ground level, Couchy must be getting electric down there, boy.
Yeah, they're just getting upset with each other. They're just testing their own testosterone here. Wheels are just feeling each other out here. Obviously, they've targeted Wayne Carey, the Essendon players. They know if they can keep him down, and that's what they're doing. Just keep him under pressure at all occasions. He's kicked 3 already, so that's all the Essendon players are trying to upset him on every occasion.
Well, Barry Young has obviously had a lot to say, and obviously there's something going on there. There was a front page article in today's paper with Wayne and some of his personal life, and I'm not too sure whether he's reminding him of it.
Could be.
So it has been 3 goals that North Melbourne Kangaroos have kicked as a result of free kicks here this afternoon. That's 3 out of a total of 5. That's a significant influence. Bombers need to get focus back onto the game. They're doing it right at the moment. Here's Blumfield on 50. Young did it earlier from that same spot. Tell you what, the Bombers, they've bounced back strongly.
Well, that's the sort of reply that you want when a team goes down and gets a free kick for undisciplined play, then a 50-metre penalty, and to then get back in the centre, get your mind focused again, as you'll see here. Peter Solomon getting his hand on the footy, which is so important in this. Blumfield getting the ball forward. You see McCurry involved. They're all in there. Blumfield again running forward, and just sensational play. And a great kick and a great response.
Well, McCurry's given the set-up hand pass twice for goals. What a player. Back in the middle. Fantastic atmosphere at the MCG. And the Bombers taking it right up to the Kangaroos. Well, why wouldn't they? They're on top of the ladder. Taken away by Rawlings. Rawlings deep for Carey. Caught behind. And he made contact with Barnard. Barnard coming up holding his head, and the Essendon players want to go on with Wayne Carey here.
Buick's not happy.
If there has been contact, you'd suggest that is reportable because it was a very aggressive swipe from Wayne Carey.
You just got to be careful here though, because it could give away the free kick, Essendon.
Yeah, Essendon at the moment, they're playing against Wayne Carey, and I think they need to settle themselves back down and take on the rest of the Kangaroos.
Now, something's happened. There's a free kick against...
It's another Kangaroos free kick here.
And another report.
And Barry Young's gone into the book. Down goes another Kangaroos player, David King. They're going over like 9 pins.
I think McKernan.
And McKernan is in the hands of a couple of trainers just away to the left. Here he is.
He got shepherded just as the ball was kicked. I think you saw that, Paul.
Yeah, it was a bit undisciplined play there, Jim. He just knocked him over when he was away from the ball, and that's what happened. And the ball was clearly down the ground.
Did you see who did the shepherding? Because was it Barry Young or?
Yes, it was Barry Young. He's in the book for unruly play. Yeah,
now we see here McKernan coming off at the blood drill, so obviously might have been a high shepherd.
It's fantastic though. You just see excitement in the bus of the old footy that used to be, Drew.
Get those boots out again, Couchy.
Well, here's Barnard and Carey. I don't know that he got that much of it.
Okay.
That was all right, I think.
Yeah, but this next one's the one we want to have a look at. Here's Wellman, he's clear, and there's Young. McKernan had dropped out of the action.
Yeah, and so did Young, though. I think Young committed himself and then turned his back.
Well, McKernan really was only following the flight of the ball.
Yeah, well, it wasn't reportable anyway.
So McKernan's off with the blood rule. He can't take the free kick, so it'll be taken by Robert Scott. And this could be the Kangaroos' 4th goal out of 6 from free kicks. Man on the mark is only 35 metres from goal. He should kick this. Robert Scott. And there's another one.
Scores are level again. This is what it's all about. Barry Young has just been taken off. Obviously, Kevin Sheedy has had something to say to him, tell him to cool down.
He might be telling him to keep going, Jim. Just stir him up a little bit more. Just put him under the pressure a bit. It's good work.
Well, they're stirring him up, but he's just a little bit of undisciplined play, though, at the same time.
This is where you need to know your players, don't you, as to know how far they can go.
Absolutely.
The scores are back to level at the MCG for the 7th time already in the game. And here he comes. Michael Long. We've seen him do it. 93, that run in the final. King goes a little bit extra there. And Long's not happy with it, rightfully so.
Wheels Wallace has tried to clean up Grant just in the middle there, so he's run straight over and gone boof.
Can we ring back to the station, Drew, and get more cameras here? Because there's just so much going on.
Well, this is finals footy at its best.
McCartney towards Carey. Early fly from Solomon. Buick steps out, forward handball, looking to release it. Long does extremely well. Michael Long knows the game. Moorcroft, centre half forward. Lloyd, Archer over the back. Stevens. There's nothing out there but the boundary umpire, and Abraham's out there eventually.
Stevens doing some good mopping up. He's got Mercury today.
Short kick into Capuano.
It's a pity that didn't lead up to an Essendon goal, because Michael Long's effort there might be swamped in everything else that's going on in this game.
Masidi getting back over the head. Fletcher comes through, barging through. Kangaroos kick towards the open square. Bounces across the face. Barnard's leading the race. The boundary line wins out. A boundary throw-in, scores level. Thrown in 30 metres around from the Kangaroos' goal.
There's someone who's been very productive for Essendon today. It's Chris Heffernan. He's had 8 possessions, kicked a goal, but he's got 3 centre clearances.
Boundary throw-in, chance for the Kangaroos. It comes to Carey, and he had a bit of a fumble then. Back out on the 50. Simpson concedes some ground to King, running out of room. Round the corner he goes. It bounces in the vicinity of Carey. Magnificent!
What a goal! Well, we'll be seeing plenty of that in the replays.
Well, if they've targeted Carey, it's come unstuck. He's kicked the nearest of 4 first-half goals, and that is nearly the goal of the season.
And we're still in the first quarter. But this was great. It was good play here by North Melbourne just to keep the ball alive. But Wayne Carey just kept his feet. Check side, left foot, banana kick. Straight through the middle.
Well, if you want to know why people think this man can play football in Wayne Carey, we just had a perfect example. Corey McKernan, the additional height in the forward line, returns to the ground for the Kangaroos. Buick racking up possessions. Disposal number 5 to half forward. McCartney does well against Wallace. Blumfield, the kick smothered by Pickett, and up he comes again. Wallace in front, McCartney over the boundary line.
Byron Pickett's one of the best tacklers and smotherers in the game.
There is no doubt about that.
So Wallace hasn't done a whole lot today, and last week kicked 4 goals, gave them a great start in the first quarter.
2 big men right on the forward 50. Somerville does well over the back. Moorcroft runs onto it, has to confront Simpson, does it. Pickett plays the ball out in front of him. Blakey, just the left foot kick out of trouble. Bounces to the wing. McKernan takes it, charges away. Tosses towards centre half forward. The pack form. Pryor couldn't take it. Solomon ducks the head. Durkay coming through. Long, quick kick out into some space. Blumfield beautifully to Johnson. Johnson, here comes the lead from Lloyd. Lesio couldn't take it. Bell cleans up again. Racking up possessions at halfback is Bell.
And this time Scott gets rid of Buick. Scott takes the mark. Off to Stevens. His kick's long to the centre half forward. Carey in the chop. Big punch at the back by Wellman. Comes to the front. Winston Abraham. Open goal square.
That is great play from Essendon. And if you'll see here when Stevens got the ball, Essendon first it was a turnover to North Melbourne. They got the ball out. Scott got it from Buick, but Stevens just kicked the ball on the attacking side going in, which just meant that the Bombers had nowhere but to punch the ball down forward. And that's just where you got to be for the Crumbs.
32 minutes have gone in the first quarter. 14 goals are on the board. 6-1 plays 8-1. Accuracy in front of goal. Toughness in the centre of the ground. Long pierces the handball back on out here towards Mercedes. His kick into the forward line is a gem to Lloyd.
Well, we were saying it earlier on that this was a really attacking game. First 15 minutes was 6 goals. You could really see because there's not a lot of tagging, close tagging going on. But it's just they've just kept it up. We're still only in the first quarter and there's already been 14 goals kicked. And the accuracy.
James Hird, who played his last game this year earlier on against North Melbourne in round 2. And we'll be speaking to him on Channel 7 at half-time. Terry Danaher right in the rear of the coach's box. But at the moment, all eyes on Matthew Lloyd. Number 18 for Essendon has kicked 2.
It's good.
He has got it through. That's 3 to him. It's a shootout between the 18s. So Lloyd gets 3 and Carey has kicked 4 at the other end.
Well, if you have a look at the accuracy today, there's 15 goals being kicked and only 2 points, which is pretty phenomenal goal shooting. Particularly some games you come down and this year, the end after 4 quarters of footy has got a scoreline something similar to that.
That's right.
Jim Long's been absolutely sensational in the middle. Just his vision and just to hit his player in the right spot. Fantastic play.
He's got some great speed, just acceleration.
And still nearly 2 minutes to quarter time, so a chance for 2 or 3 more goals. Over his head goes Heffernan, who's had a big first term. Solomon, ball jolted out of his arms. Rawlings was in there, but now the Bombers have it. Barry Young, inside 50. Young for his second, but he hooked it. And a very disappointing behind. He'd nearly get dragged for kicking it behind in this game. 5 points the lead to the Kangaroos.
Yeah, I think he could have had a shepherd there when he dummied inside.
So Barry Young, who we think has been reported earlier in the game, misses the chance. Abraham towards this near wing. Bell was the flyer. Johnson, who's been very good, cleaning up across halfback, short kick into Heffernan. As Jim Steins has said, disposal number 11 is looking for 50. He's got 50. Umpire Hayden Kennedy was calling Winston Abraham back on the mark. He didn't respond quickly enough. So this is the second 50-metre penalty of the game. Wayne Carey was a beneficiary earlier on. He kicked the goal from his.
There's a bit of a soft 50-metre penalty, but he's been a real quiet achiever today, Chris Heffernan. He's getting lots of footy.
So here he goes. Tosses on out wide. It's well across. And actual off the hands there and a boundary throw in.
This is Mark McCurry. He's really got to impose his presence on the game today. Stevens has worn him like a glove so far.
Somerville will try to come over the back. Capuano, Somerville, good hands on off.
Another smother by Pickett.
Jukovic on the ground. Handballs widely on out. Blakey taken out of the contest. Pickett, forward handball. Grant tosses on out wide towards the wing. The run on here. Harvey and Johnson. Bounce favours Harvey. Comes back, steps around Johnson. Now it's a clear kick in towards Longmire. Going back. Well done, Fletcher. Enough to get the hand of the ball, knock it to ground, clear it on out towards the outer side, and Buick, off he goes. He's on the invisible motorbike. Couple of bounces towards half forward. Stevens stands his ground in the contest. King being strong against Jukovic. Grant, handballs on back, and Bell again at half back.
Bell up towards centre wing. Longmire. The siren's going to beat him. We'll have no more goals unless there's a long one from this. McKernan marks, and he's nearly 60 metres from goal. Well, he'll have a shot.
If you ever look too, obviously Essendon took Wallace off, which allowed Longmire to go forward. And I think the Roos have taken Lang off. But Corey McKernan, I've seen him kick 60 metres more than once.
Well, the Bombers have got all their tall blokes. Fletcher's gone back onto the goal line. Somerville's back there. Any wind advantage for him here, Catchy? Pretty still. Whatever movement of the breeze there is at his back. There's not much. Does it need to be a career best kick by Corey McKernan? After the siren at quarter time. Needs to kick at 65. Well, he's kicked at 55. And it's quarter time here. A 5-point lead to the Kangaroos in a stirring quarter of football. 8-1 to 7 goals 2.